eSports is really heavily leaning towards Ornn rather than going for the Gragas. But we have to remember, like, DY is a god on this champion, only losing once during the group stage, and also very, I would say, aggressive when it comes to engaging towards the opponent. Same 3 picks for Nova, same 3 picks for J Team.
So one question comes into our minds, right? What champion will Neon pick this time around? I don't think we are going to be seeing this Yasuo here for Nova Esports. They really need the Wukong for long in order to be able to fully utilize that. So far, there's no ban on one of those two champions, but probably one is gonna get taken away here by J Team at the very end, because the Fiora was banned away in game 2,
and the Wukong
then the
should be
Yasuo
banned
as well. Yeah.
I mean, you just banned. Oh, okay. So Wukong is open, so that should be a no-brainer, right, for Nova. Although it doesn't have the best damage in the game, it still is allowable, especially if you go if you go double scaling Ziggs and Ezreal. That should at least give the Wukong enough relevance in the early game to be very impactful. I wonder as to why Nova Esports held on for the last pick, though. Oh, are they expecting that the Olaf will show up again and will be a problem for Wukong to solve? But I don't think that the Wukong is definitely an inferior champion to the Olaf, because we still have to remember that the other members will also be there to pin down.
Right?
True, but we'll see. Again, to me, it's just a no-brainer. It's either the Xin Zhao or the Wukong, and we have to remember that the Xin Zhao did not pan out that well during game number 2. Oh, wow.
Okay. Just go hard. Just be the carry. Just be that demon that wreaks havoc in the scene. Aatrox gets picked up here by Long instead.
Alright. One of the champions that has been hotly contested during the group stages here in the playoffs often gets freed to get picked up by most of the teams, because teams have figured out a way to control the Aatrox. And truth be told, like, J Team does have a very good comp to counter the Aatrox, because again, one way to control an Aatrox is to be able to poke him out of the picture before a fight even starts, and that's where the Corki and the Zoe is good at.
The burst is there, the damage is there, the suppression is there, the isolation is there as well from J Team. I am excited to the potential of Long being able to fully utilize this Aatrox, but again, this is still J Team. Right now, this Aatrox is more vulnerable. Just if J Team does the same thing that they did a while ago in game 2, then this is going to be a much harder time for Long to actually come through.
Are they that worried that they will lack damage if they did go for the Xin Zhao or Wukong? Because it's all up to them, right? Like, I think it's just Long saying, hey, you know what, I want to play Aatrox. But in reality, you have enough damage with the Ezreal and the Ziggs already. So kind of just have to find some middle ground. And going for the Xin Zhao and the Wukong, I believe, is a better option. Truth be told, I kind of like J Team's lineup more. However, still the bigger problem to solve, man. Okay.
This time they fish for picks. Long is there alongside with Remake and Yami. Unfortunately, they didn't find anyone.
True. And again, just going back to my point, I think the biggest worry that I have still for the lineup of J Team is this Camille. Eats it if he ever finds that Hextech ultimatum onto the primary targets. Never mind if it's the Zoe, or never mind if it's the Corki, they will immediately disappear from the map once that happens. And now the problem has been Battlestar connecting, but that's level 1. Yep.
Almost the same situation. This time DY did not take 2 tower fights, so it's more fine than ever. Same goes for Long. No invades happened to him, no way to shut him down, so everything's even, at least at this first minute.
Yep. And again, as a Camille, all you have to do is to really just hit once, and you'll have that adaptive defenses to help you survive those all-ends. And yeah, just going back to my point as well, as to why I think this is a better overall start for Nova Esports. They did not leave long to dry out during the early game. Immediately, they sent him to the side and where they sent their two members, and that's the safer choice, right? Like, unlike with what happened during game number 1, in where we saw him path towards the side in where his Baron laner was pathing towards to, this is a safer route. This is what we call the early game adjustments that Nova Esports has applied into game number 3. And now that we are on a stalemate, I'm liking the chances of Nova.
Yeah. Have Long be able to scale up better, and you will have your hero moment here for Long. For days, especially that Nova Esports has a lot of tools actually for team fights nonetheless. Even if J-Team does have seemingly the better draft, the damage should always be recognized here coming from Nova Esports.
Remake is having a hard time. He finally reached level 4, but he has to surrender a lot of minions here on the top side. Tempo, J-Team again. When it comes to fundamentals, they are second to none, and that's the reason why they're getting advantages. Be it small, it doesn't matter. It still is an advantage that they will be happy to get.
1,000 gold lead without any kills, just through the platings, and the waves denied here to Nova Esports. They're just so good with this, man. J-Team, they get something even if they shouldn't be able to get those advantages against the enemy team, and in this case they got those lead through Remake in the top lane, and right now it's Nova Esports again on the back foot just a tiny bit, but it is already a bit alarming because again damage is really high coming in from J-Team as well. The burst is going to be there from Pan later on, and through the plates they can just continue to accelerate that.
And that, I think, is the reason why one of my look-forward coaches is the coach of J-Team, Coach Kylan. Because he really has a very good grasp of what to do. And just the fact that, you know, his players is able to execute whatever game plan is needed to win is already a testament of how effective he is as a coach, right? Because there will be coaches in where the X's and O's, you know, the game plan will be there, but, you know, the team cannot really absorb and, what needs to be done in order for it to be accomplished. And that's where the coach of J-Team, Kylin, sets himself apart from the rest, right? He is not just a genius when it comes to macro. He is also a genius in allowing J-Team, or in making sure that J-Team will be following his commands from the headquarters, right? From the general headquarters, or from the coach's standpoint. And yeah, same can be said for Nova Esports' coach. Again, it's the Icons Global Champion that we're talking about, but I just have this special bias towards JT's coach just because of how crisp and how clean their play is.
I mean, it's being reflected on their games, right? It's being reflected on the movements, the play styles here of their players. And right now, they're the ones leading in this game. They're the ones being proactive. Nova Esports is just responding to whatever movements they make. If they sense them on bot side, the others respond to the top side. But they're not getting any picks just yet. Yami, that's a lot of damage he has taken. Right now, J-Team has full access on this dragon.
And again, still bet compared to game number 2 in where we see a 1. Oh, that thought Don 128.
That's the ultimatum. Cast gonna be used, but dodge there by Yitze. That's to make it for the bomb. DY still gonna get killed. Don's gonna be the next target. Immediately blown up by Long's double kill already by this Aatrox. Yeah, you got the dragon, but we got 2 kills. We're taking this RH as well.
We'll see. 0711 can still seal this. No steal.
And
cannot
another
steal
kill.
Not steal from Long. Now has a three kills already for Long. So, oh my god, this is a nightmare for J-Team. Now they can even go for their 4th kill. If Don 128 even goes over aggressive here, he will meet the tower dive of 3 members once again. But because DY is here with the dead man's plate already completed, more mobility for him gives enough security to J-Team's top laner to survive. But look at that replay once again. I was I was scared for a second for Don 128, but there was a weird interaction as to how he used his Ruthless Predator. It did feel like that, you know, the damage wasn't there, and Long was there to capitalize on the mistake by J-Team. That's already 2 kills for him. Exhaust, everything was being invested to just slow down this Olaf, and ultimately what was needed by Nova was that kill, and that Rift Herald secure. Looks like that game number 3 is going to be a comfortable one for Nova eSports this time.
They like earned 2,000 in that last fight. From 1,000 gold deficit to them leading 1,000 plus the Dragon. Well, it was secured by J-Team, but RH was secured by Long, and they can use it in the mid lane as well. Fortunately enough, J-Team's the one who got the tower here in the bot lane. Gonna be answered here by Nova eSports.
What's happening to Nova? They're okay. All right. At least they have a satchel charge that they can use to clear out the mid lane tower, but this is far from my expectations again when it comes to being the cleanest team to execute the game plan. To me, J-Team really still takes the cake because it's so apparent. Normally, if you have the Rift Herald, first tower should be on your squad, but J-Team was still able to find one good counter here in the bot lane, was able to take the tower here in the bot side, and even on the top lane, you know, the push here by the Renekton is enough to chunk down this tower down to 700 health as well. So everything considered, outside the fact that the Aatrox is very much fed, J-Team is still in this game.
Yeah, they're the ones leading still in terms of the movements. Yes, Nova eSports has a slight gold advantage, but still, there is a way for J-Team to actually pin Long down. So he shouldn't be too overconfident. Oh my dear lord, that damage
minions. Yep, but there are minions on the way. So Remake should be thankful to Mr. Minion blocking the path of another path will start connecting. But that was very scary though. Nova, meanwhile, sending 2 members here in the bot lane. They're just following Don128, shadowing wherever he is, and will try to get to dominate that side.
Wow, they actually turn on to him. They focus on the kill. Don cannot do anything inside that Hextech ultimatum. They will get that kill. They will get this tower as well. Big swing for Nova once more.
Yep, he needs stasis immediately and fast. Oh, Neon might be able to get this kill.
Ooh, knock up is just perfect. Neon will not get the kill, but still a good lead for Nova eSports. DY is here. Can he actually get the catch? He does. The damage.
Okay. Wow. Montage moment by DY.
Wow.
Okay, I thought for a second that you can only do that in our ranked games, right? Not in competitive. But what he did there was to channel his barrel roll, wait for it to be fully red, right? For maximum damage, and just push back using the explosive gas. This is a highlight in favor of Nova eSports. But what I'm really excited about is this one. Right? Okay, you cast skill number 1, barrel roll. Okay, you wait for it to turn red, and then you go maximum damage coming from DY. There's a reason why this guy is just 1 loss away from a perfect record on the Dragons, right? Imagine a record of 9-1 on the champion or 10-1 on the champion. That just means he's good at it, right?
That's a highlight reel right there. DY just making the flashy moves. And right now, well, there is still a chance for Nova eSports to actually secure the second dragon. Yitze though, Hextech ultimate onto the back line. Pan is gonna be in trouble. The damage is just huge. Yitze though took so much as well. He has to fall back for the meantime. J-Team can recollect themselves. Yitze might be in trouble. Tactical sweep to slow down the Renekton as Nova eSports tries to settle things here on the dragon pit.
This is a 4v3 though, and Nova knows this. Still, the threat of a steal coming from 0711 is there. Nova eSports versus J-Team here. This dragon who's going to take this.
They try. 0711 is successful in getting the dragon. Thank you for the leash, he says. Nova eSports will be exchanging some of the members of JT's life, but it's all worth it. They back away. Only 1 casualty for J-Team.
Hey, as much as we credit Nova eSports' jungler in this might fight, 0711 is starting to reverse the opinions about this matchup and is now taking the 2 dragon advantage here in game number 3. We all know the 3 dragons win condition. Young, I sound like a broken record whenever I say it, right? But that's because it is true. Whenever you have a 3 dragons joining your side, it is as if you have a 5k gold lead value on towards your team. Let's look at that replay once again. Ragnarok going to be used. And even though the long was there, it doesn't matter, right? That Smite fight still was won by 0-7-11. Impressive job by the Olaf.
Oh yeah, fantastic job here for 0-7-11. Definitely leaving a dent to the performance here of Long. Unable to secure any dragons for Nova Esports, is scaling in the late game, denied onto them right now. And J-Team is the one that is getting those advantage. Even if they're down 3,000, it doesn't matter. They're getting the dragons. If they get this last one, that is a big margin of lead that they will possess in the late game.
For sure, right? Like, again, in terms of gold value, stats-wise, I really think it's equivalent already to around 5,000 gold in value.
Yeah.
So, which means that, you know, if it ever becomes a game in where it's all even, pretty sure that whoever has the 3 dragons will win. However, this is a big blunder. Pan get caught by Nova Esports. He's dead. And Nova Esports will just push a tower.
Yeah, and mid-tier 1, mid-tier 2, big swing of gold once again. 4,500 right now for Nova Esports. Can they bait them on the Baron though? Seems like they are setting up.
DY though, yeah, can check using the barrel roll for vision. Yitze.
Almost in range for the Hextech ultimatum. Had it been a little bit closer, he's dead for sure.
Hey, you look at the record of Long here, Giyang, 5-0-1. This is Long's revenge game from what happened in game number 2. Let's see.
And
Hextech
looking
ultimatum.
for it. They're targeting 0-7-11
wow,
right now, but DY is soaking so much attention. Oh my god, he just prevented every sort of engage from Nova Esports. Now they get the reset. Now they're fine.
And again, this is the reason why I really love it when Nova Esports is on the Gragas, not on the Ornn, right? Like, DY needs to be respected on this champion. By himself, he stopped Nova's...
It's like thou shall not pass.
Who's that again?
Gandalf.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It was like buffeting as well.
Yeah, I was like okay. Okay. Did you just compare a Gragas to Gandalf, man? Like, I never imagined, you know, a champion of Gragas physique will ever be compared to a Gandalf, but for sure,
it's on vacation.
That's fine. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, just going back to our point here, he stopped Nova Esports by himself, right? Like, DY. Oh man, if that is not an indication that you have to respect the Gragas of this guy, I don't know what, you know, I don't know what is needed by Nova Esports to wake up from the fact that DY should not be allowed to play the champion because he's so good at it.
He just denies any sort of opportunity for Nova Esports. Oh man, they might need to reconsider the champions they are using right now in this game because the others are performing really well. But just because of this Gragas of DY, they're being prevented from doing so. The disengage tool that this player provides is just pristine. But Long though, has to sleep, force to flash away, he's gonna be fine. But pops the World Ender, and that's a little bit concerning for me.
And to flash as well. And we have to remember that the Aatrox can easily get poked out. He's so ahead of tempo right now though. 5-0-1. Is it enough though? Normally it is. But with DY at the forefront of everything, making sure that all those carries will be safe in the backline, things are a little bit different now. Where is 0-7-11 by the way? Oh, a trade?
Ooh. Alright. We're gonna give you the dragon, but we're taking the Baron. This is a big margin of gold that we can acquire, plus split push potential, and no contestation was made. Nova Esports, they didn't get the better one.
It's not often that we see that trade. Okay, 0-7-11 should be safe. Empowered recalls should allow him to go back to base immediately. But again, this is J-Team just recognizing that Nova would go all in to take that third dragon. And for a good reason, right? Because if J-Team ever gets that third dragon to join their squad, that's good night. And so J Team went for the easier objective, quote unquote, to go for the Baron and come back gold-wise. So now this Baron will be used to push down the towers, get those gold in for themselves, and have a very equal late game. Oh, Yutsu is starting to become a problem in the side lane now, Kyung.
Ton is gonna be there on the top lane to hold the lane out. And in this way, through the Baron buff, this time, J-Team can actually divide and conquer Nova eSports, because Nova's composition is best when they are grouped up. Same goes for J-Team, but through the Baron, they can just persuade them. They can just isolate them in a sense, push the waves back, and maybe create something out of that later on through team fights. Again, through DY, the setup god, the disengage god as well on this Gragas.
Just slowing things down as well, Kyung, right? It's very important for them to buy time for Yetzi and Pan to get all those necessary items to scare off this Aatrox. Because again, however fed Aatrox is, it still is very susceptible to all those pokes coming from the Corki and coming from the Zoe. There were games in where we casted in where we thought the Aatrox will have, you know, a show to behold. However, he gets easily controlled come late game because of pokes. We all know that Pan on this Zoe is very capable in landing all those kill shots, and that's the reason why you saw just from a few minutes ago, right? He was immediately respected by Long, immediate world enter into a flash because he knows that Pan could get his head anytime. Looks like that we can have a fight here, but Pan and company is content to just go for pokes.
That's the Call of the Forge God. Hexic Ultimatum actually on the Dawn to 128. That's a big damage already onto this Crocodile, but Force a little bit back. Good stasis to buy some time. He's still alive. Meter Enchant as well. As now they turn onto Yetzi. It's gonna be fine. We're still able to flash away. Pan chasing them down, but now Neon answers back with a kill of his own. And now Nova eSports has numbers advantage. They can turn to the Elder now.
For sure, and now that the Pan is dead, there is no long-range bombs to be warded off. Neon with a MVP playoff, being able to chase down the Zoe. She is definitely very squishy, and Ezreal at this point in time is very online now when it comes to the damage. But Yetzi does have the package, so Nova still has to respect this.
That's a flash, but he's taking too much damage here. 0711 trying to sustain himself. That's a stasis here.
Oh, Yetzi!
Can he actually stay alive? The answer is no. They turn out long, but the damage is still coming through from this Aatrox without of Yetzi as well. There's a lot of casualties already from J-Team's side. No more Ragnarok for you, buddy. You'll not survive anymore. Long this time around. It's reigning supreme. The wings are spread out, and DY is being chased away. Good cask, but that's thank you for Nova eSports, because now they can focus on this Elder.
Yeah, Elder Dragon open for the taking, unless a Wraith style steal comes from DY. Is there a smite on the ground that can get picked up here by Pan? Yitze very low in health, and they know that Pan is alive. Pan being spotted here by Yami. No entry for Pan at all onto this Elder Dragon. They don't have a smite. I think it's the reason why they're waiting for just a few seconds before securing it. Still, Nova eSports secure the Elder Dragon for 3 of their members. Let's look at that replay once again. They wanted this team fight. They know that Yetzi does have the package, but what they did not account for is that Neon and Nova eSports will still be 5-man strong. You look at Yetzi, he was batting towards the backside of this fight, and all throughout this team fight, it was already a lost cause for J-Team. Nova eSports, again, when it comes to team fighting, when it comes to stasis play, one after another, they were able to outplay J-Team.
Yeah, 0711 went too far. He was all alone, and the space was just too long for the rest of J-Team to actually follow up. Right now, the Zoe gets taken out immediately. DY as well gonna be the next target. Elder Dragon things, buddy. Just Elder Dragon things for Nova eSports.
13-3 kill count. Elder Dragon, Baron next on the menu for Nova eSports. And what can I say, man? This has been a very methodical approach by Nova eSports, capitalizing on the fact that this Aatrox will be the threat that they need. And putting the exclamation point is Nova eSports' Baron laner Yitze on the Camille. What did I say, Gyung? Camille has to be respected. And 3 games in a row, J-Team has yet to respect this champion.
And this time, Long as well is performing at his best on this 8th rock right now. Definitely redeeming his previous performance in game number 2. Inhibitor towers falling down. Nova eSports going for the close. MIB dealing lots of damage onto 3 members of JT, needing to go back into the base, but the rest are being capitalized here by Nova eSports. Extec into that obliteration. Absolutely just dominance here by Nova. Let's go to game 4. 21 minutes. Nova eSports lead the series 2-1.
Wonderful play, a wonderful revenge game as well from Long. Again, game number 2, he was shut down 0-3 to start the game.